Hello, and welcome to tonight's show. Tonight, we're diving deep into the world of Nepali medical education. It's not exactly a laugh riot, but this is important. We're talking about the future of healthcare in an entire nation. At the heart of this story is the Medical Education Commission, or MEC. These folks are the gatekeepers of Nepali medicine. They decide who gets into medical school and how the system runs. The MEC has been plagued by controversy and accusations of corruption. Tonight, we're going to expose what's really going on with the MEC. We'll hear from students who feel cheated and examine the evidence. So buckle up, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Now, you might be wondering, why all the fuss about medical school in Nepal? Well, for starters, becoming a doctor is a big deal everywhere. But in Nepal, it's a whole different ballgame. We're talking about a country where healthcare resources are already stretched thin, and qualified doctors are worth their weight in gold, or at least a lot of rupees. For many young Nepalis, a medical degree isn't just a career path, it's a ticket out of poverty, a chance to provide for their families, and a shot at a brighter future. So yeah, the stakes are pretty high. And that's why the controversies surrounding the MEC are so damn frustrating. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into your studies, sacrificing everything for your dream of becoming a doctor, only to have that dream crushed by a system that seems rigged against you. That's the reality for far too many aspiring doctors in Nepal, and it's a reality we're here to expose. One of the biggest complaints against the MEC is the way they handle entrance exams. See, getting into medical school in Nepal is like trying to win the lottery while riding a unicycle on a tightrope, blindfolded. It's tough. Students spend years cramming for these exams, often attending expensive coaching classes that eat into their family's savings. But here's the kicker. Even if you ace your mock exams, there's no guarantee you'll get a decent score on the actual MEC exam. Students have reported baffling discrepancies between their practice test results and their official scores, with some high performers ending up with inexplicably low marks. And it gets worse. There have been allegations of ranking discrepancies, where the MEC allegedly manipulates the ranking of students to favor certain individuals or institutions. So basically, it's not just what you know, but who you know, or how much your family can allegedly pay. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the rhino in the 𝘽𝙤 National Park: corruption. The MEC has been dogged by accusations of bribery, nepotism, and all sorts of shady dealings. And while proving these allegations can be tricky, the sheer volume of complaints and the lack of transparency from the MEC are, frankly, concerning. There have been instances where students with powerful connections have mysteriously aced their exams, despite having a less than stellar academic record. And let's not forget the allegations of seats being sold to the highest bidder, leaving deserving students out in the cold. The MEC, for its part, has denied these allegations. But when an organization operates with such a lack of transparency and accountability, it's hard to take their denials at face value. Section 5. A history of scandals. Past controversies cast a long shadow. If you think these issues are new, think again. The MEC has a bit of a checkered past. Over the years, there have been numerous scandals and investigations that have rocked the organization. We're talking about everything from allegations of financial irregularities to accusations of political interference in the appointment of MEC officials. In 2018, for example, the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, or CIA, filed corruption cases against several individuals associated with the MEC, including former officials, on charges of embezzling millions of rupees. That's right, millions. This history of scandals has created a deep sense of mistrust towards the MEC among students and the general public. It's like trying to trust a used car salesman who's been caught tampering with odometers twice. Section 6. The MEC's role, defending against a tide of criticism. Now, in the spirit of fairness, the MEC isn't all bad. They do have some important responsibilities, like regulating medical education, setting standards for medical colleges, and yes, even conducting those dreaded entrance exams. They also have some initiatives, like providing scholarships to underprivileged students and running faculty development programs. But here's the thing. Even these positive aspects are overshadowed by the constant cloud of controversy. It's like trying to enjoy a delicious momo while a flock of pigeons is dive-bombing your plate. The MEC needs to understand that they can't just keep denying allegations and hoping they'll go away. They need to take concrete steps to address the concerns of students and restore public trust. Section 7. The human cost. Dreams deferred and lives upended. Behind all the statistics and allegations, it's important to remember that there are real people whose lives are being affected by the MEC's actions or inaction. We're talking about bright, ambitious students who have dedicated years of their lives to pursuing their dream of becoming doctors, only to be confronted with a system that seems designed to hold them back. Imagine the crushing disappointment of receiving an entrance exam score that doesn't reflect your abilities, or the frustration of seeing less qualified candidates get ahead because of their connections. These experiences can be soul-crushing, leaving students feeling helpless and disillusioned. The impact of these issues extends far beyond the individual students. It affects their families, their communities, and the future of healthcare in Nepal. When deserving students are denied opportunities, it's not just their dreams that are deferred, it's the health and well-being of an entire nation that's at stake. Section 8. Demanding accountability. Calls for reform and transparency. So, what can be done to fix this mess? Well, for starters, the MEC needs a serious overhaul. And I'm not talking about a fresh coat of paint and some new furniture. We're talking about systemic changes that address the root causes of the controversies. First and foremost, there needs to be transparency. The MEC needs to be more open about its processes, from the way exams are conducted to how seats are allocated. They need to publish detailed information about their finances, including how they spend their budget and where their funding comes from. Second, the MEC needs to be held accountable for its actions. There needs to be a clear and independent mechanism for investigating allegations of corruption and malpractice. And when wrongdoing is found, those responsible need to be held accountable, regardless of their position or connections. Section 9. Navigating the system. Advice for aspiring medical professionals. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds pretty bleak, but don't lose hope just yet. Be prepared. Study hard for exams and be ready to face unfairness and bias. Research your options thoroughly, understand the admission requirements, and be aware of your rights. Don't be afraid to speak out. Report any injustices you witness. Finally, remember that you're not alone. Connect with organizations fighting for a fairer system. Section 10. Conclusion. A call for fairness and integrity in Nepali medical education. The controversies surrounding the MEC are not just about entrance exams or allegations of corruption. They're about something far more fundamental: the right to a fair and equitable education. Every student in Nepal, regardless of their background or connections, deserves an equal opportunity to pursue their dreams, especially when those dreams involve something as vital as healthcare. The MEC has a responsibility to ensure that the medical education system in Nepal is fair, transparent, and accountable. They need to stop operating in the shadows and start listening to the concerns of the students they are meant to serve. The future of healthcare in Nepal depends on it. And as for the MEC, well, let's just say they're on notice. The world is watching. and the demand for change is only going to get louder. That's it for tonight, folks. Go get yourself a delicious momo. You deserve it.